All right, it's time for another mailbag where I respond to your comments and answer your questions. And if you have any, leave them down below for the opportunity to have them answered in a future mailbag. So let's just jump right on into it. Hey Frater, what are your thoughts and opinions on the Netflix show, The Midnight Gospel? I've never seen it. I know about it, I've heard about it, I've seen screenshots and clips of it, but I've never actually sat down to watch an episode of it. And I don't have Netflix or any other paid streaming service at the moment anyway, because my entertainment time budget is very limited these days. Perhaps one day I can get around to it making a call it in plain sight video on it, although that would be a pretty obvious one that most people would know about. And thank you for the question. How do you do magic if you get bombarded by negative thoughts? You're not meant to think about all the things you don't want to manifest, but trying to suppress those things from coming up in a ritual to get something you do want is almost impossible. I can't even hail a god without my turrets trying to goad them. Practice and experience. Because what seems to be impossible for you is easy for others, because they've been doing it for a long time. What you're talking about is like trying to lift the same amount of weight that a seasoned bodybuilder can when you've never lifted weights before and you're really puny. But if you begin with a lesser amount and continue working out over time, you'll be able to add more and more weight to where you'll be able to reach that point. What seemed impossible before would now become possible. See, the problem that you're having is you're trying not to think of something. It's like trying not to think of a pink elephant. Well, in order to do that, you have to think of a pink elephant. The image of what you're not supposed to think about, you have to think about to not think about it. So stop trying to prevent things from coming into your mind because that doesn't do any good. Instead of trying not to think about them, just banish, deny, and reject them when they do pop into your mind. And it's the very first exercise I gave out on this channel within the very first couple videos. It may have even been in lesson 1. And if you do it that way, then you will train your mind to automatically cast those thoughts out when they pop in, eventually getting to the point where the negative thoughts don't even bother. Okay, and thanks for the question. Frater, my reason for wanting money has been to help others. So are you saying that I should focus my energy on helping others rather than the money I think I need to help others? Yeah. Because money is a means to an end. It's not the end itself. Right? You want money to help others. Helping others is the end. And in magic, you always want to focus on the end rather than the means. Because it's the job of magic to provide the means. So let's say when I wanted a new vehicle. When I did magic to help acquire that vehicle, I didn't focus on the money. I focused on the vehicle. Even though nobody's just going to give me a vehicle, although that could happen. It could be that I win a contest and get a brand new truck, for example. However, most likely I'm going to end up having to get the money for a vehicle. But I didn't focus on the money. I focused on the vehicle. What does it look like? How does it feel driving it? Getting all my senses involved. So don't focus on the means, focus on the goal. Focus on the end. This is why I say that magic does the heavy lifting for you. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. I don't know how I'm going to help others. I don't know how I'm going to get the money to get the vehicle. Magic takes care of the means. So don't worry about the how, worry about the what. And let the how reveal itself through synchronicity. If you're always concerned with how it's going to come about, you're never going to get your mind off of it to allow it to manifest. So focus on the end goal, focus on the what, and let magic do its job. And I appreciate the question. Thank you. Great video, Frater. Would love to hear more about the evil eye. If there's anything else we should know about it. Now, I pretty much covered it all in that video. I mean, it's called the evil eye, but you could really just think of it as the gaze of envy, because it's really envy, jealousy that causes it. So just don't go around being a show-off or a braggart and invoking envy from people. That's how you avoid it. In an age where everybody wants to show off their bling and their success, especially with social media, you have to be really conscious of what you're posting and showing others. And thanks for the question. Hey, Frater, do you happen to have any more material available on laws of consent and contract? I'd love to check it out. I do have some in the Thoth Life series on Patreon and Subscribestar, and it's because of the subject material. I'm always kind of iffy about putting it on YouTube. I don't want any of it to be misconstrued as me giving out legal advice or something when I'm not. When it comes to these things, some people have success with it, others do not. The results vary wildly, and it usually comes down to whether or not they really understand what they're doing. For example, if you sign something under protest and duress, and a judge asks you what that means, and you say, "Oh, I just heard some guy on the internet tell me to do that," then it's going to fail. And so I figure Patreon and Subscribestars are a better place for that, because I don't want a lot of people going out and getting themselves into trouble, even though I warn against that. Okay? Now, as to whether or not I have more information along those lines forthcoming, we will just have to see. And I appreciate the question. So, quick story. I did the soap ritual to end my cigarette addiction, found out that I'm pregnant the other day. I'm older and my children are adults, not quite what I had in mind. Thought you'd get a kick out of this. Yeah, magic should come with a warning label that says, "Careful what you wish for." This is a classic case of not binding down the action not wanted. If you would have thrown in "without me getting pregnant" in there, that would have helped. Not that you would see it coming, because magic always manifests in ways that you least expect. But it is a good cautionary tale for any other women who may want to kick the habit. So I appreciate the story. Thank you and congratulations. I sent you an email many years ago. Ignore it. I think you already did. Well, by the way, I'm fine now. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're fine. And I'm sorry if your email slipped through the cracks, which some are just going to. That's just the reality of it. The longer the email, the less likely I am to reply to it, because I'll get like little windows of like 15, 20 minutes to answer emails. And when I come across a very long one that's not going to be able to fit within that time frame, it'll get passed over with the full intention of getting back to it at some point. But that doesn't happen sometimes. The support email on my website, mindandmagic.com, is the best way to get a hold of me. Second is YouTube here in the comments section. Last is Facebook and Twitter. The messaging service on those are more hidden for me, and I don't get to them or see them as often. Okay, so I'm sorry if I missed your email, but I'm glad that you're doing okay. And I appreciate the comment. Thank you. Frater the Commercial God. Well, I wasn't going to put one in this video mailbag, but if you're going to call me the Commercial God, then I don't want to disappoint you. The Magician Essentials includes the first 4 Mind and Magic programs: Words of Power, Manifesting Reality, The Secrets of Wealth, and Fire and Water, all together in one convenient discounted bundle. The Magician Essentials is going to save you approximately 20% over purchasing the programs separately. Over 6 hours of content included in the bundle. This is the best everyday deal that you're going to get. It's essentially buy 3, get 1 free. So if you're looking to get into Mind and Magic programs, you really can't go wrong with picking up the Magician Essentials today. All right, we got time to do a couple more. When are you going to reveal what the group sigil experiment was? When it manifests. I do get asked this quite a bit, so I'm wondering if it has anything to do with people having lust for results and not just letting go of the outcome. When you wait on magic, the magic isn't allowed to happen. And I appreciate the question and the opportunity to let others know. Frater Xavier's God Form program would be perfect for my girlfriend because she's always assuming something. Fantastic. I think I'll leave it off at that one. I'll much appreciate a laugh, my friend. Thank you. Keep leaving comments and questions for the next mailbag video. Follow me on social media. Check out mindandmagic.com for programs and merch. And I'll see you next time. Take care.